Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. We are here in a windy Santa Fe, New Mexico, and today we're heading down to the first of two stops in Texas. This leg is going to take us out southeast down to Lubbock, and then from there we're going to be heading down to the capital of Austin. We're back in the Canadian Dash-7 4-engine turboprop regional commuter aircraft, and we have about 41 passengers on board for today's flight. So let's hop on board. We'll get into the pilot seat and we'll start getting everything set up and ready to go. Alright, carrying on with our cockpit safety checks. The parking brake is on. Let me just get rid of that. Throttle levers are at idle. Control lock is now engaged. Condition levers are all in fuel shutoff. Flaps are up and reading 0. Batteries are off. Wipers are off. Turn that warm up heat off. Weather radar is in up, and oxygen mask and oxygen quantities have been checked. Alright, so up to the overhead panel, and away we go on our pre-flight checklist. So batteries coming on, AC generator, DC generators are both on. We'll turn left and right batteries on and turn on the DC external power, and we've got DC load and AC amps. Bus tie is in the closed position. There's the alarm going off as we open that. That's good. And generators 1 through 4 are off. Popping up a little bit further, we can see the flight data recorder is in normal and the emergency locator transponder is now in auto. We'll turn our lights up, get a little bit of panel illumination. I still hate that some of these things go all the way around. Not sure if that's the aircraft or my mouse. Could be either one. I am running the latest version. This is 1.64. So hopefully the flap animations are fixed. They did some work on some of the other under the hood stuff, and I have noticed that the weight and balance is actually loading a little bit better as well. So back up top, now that the internal panel lights are on, fuel handles are all pushed in, fire and smoke warning tests are done. Popping down to the main panel here, windshield heat is off and the windshield wipers are off. Airframe de-ice is off, pitot-static is off, propeller de-ice is off. Battery temperatures are coming up. That's all fine. Position light will now go to red. Sorry, that's anti-collision. Position light will now go on. Ignitions 1 through 4 are all set to normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps 1 through 4 are all off. Fuel quantities are checked and good. Engine start switches are off. Cabin pressurization is all set to auto. AC external power is currently off. Inverters set to left bus. AC generators are off. Engine bleeds are all off. Temperature controls are auto in the cabin and auto in the flight compartment. Fasten seatbelt signs on. No smoking sign is on. And the emergency lights are now armed. That means we can start letting our passengers on board and they can get settled in the back. So moving down to the main panel here, I'll come down to the glare shield. Clocks are set. It's 1:34 local time. Flight taxi switch is set to taxi. GPWS is tested. Yaw dampers is in normal and is guarded. Flight directors will turn on, both come on, and we'll turn them back over to standby. Landing and taxi lights are all off. PFCS lights are off. Autopilot system configuration and coupling is set to captain. Caution and advisory lights. We will turn on the caution lights. See, our caution lights are up and our advisory lights is all on and looking good. Sticker phase is currently off and auto skid is now on. Down to my side, steering is off, stall warning is tested, flight instruments are looking good. We'll get the altimeter and the METAR now. let's just grab it. It is a little bit windy down here in Santa Fe today. Winds are looking like 10, gusting 22. And they're out of the southwest. We're going to be taking off on runway 20. Skies are clear. Temperature is 22 degrees. And 29er is our barrow. So we'll come down here. 2999. That is set. We will set the standby. Emergency. And 29er. 9er on Rogers as he's out doing the walk around. Sitting at an elevation of about 6,350 feet. Fairly high up here in New Mexico. The altimeter is done. We'll turn on the DMEs and we're going to make sure that R1 is set to DME1 and Rogers will be set to DME2. Compass is set to slave. Hydraulic quantities are good, and we do have hydraulic pressure in the brakes. Now moving over to the main panel. Today we're going to be flying at an altitude of 17,000 feet. So we'll start dialing that in. It's going to take a minute. Still haven't fixed the little arrow indicator here. And you can see
hello, ladies and gentlemen.
we're almost there at 17,000. There we go. 17,000 is fetched. Prop auto feather is off intake. Deflectors are retracted. Engine instruments are all checked, and everything looks the way they should be looking. Landing gear, horn, tested, mute.
If the overhead bin is full, please make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers.
Pitch and roll disconnect handles are in, and lock weather radar is non-functioning. We do have a auto ATC message from VATSIM for our squawk code of 4125 today.
If you're not able to comply with these actions, please let a flight attendant know. That way you can be received. Now's the time to get out any last-minute text messages if you need to.
Comms
but we
and
ask that once
nav.
you depart from the gate, you put
So
away any
CTAF
laptop
frequency
or
here
tablet.
at
Thank you and welcome aboard.
Santa Fe is 119.5. So we're going to dial 1195. There we go. And we'll put the 1128 in so that we are ready for that when we get through 10,000 feet. And over on COM2 122.5, our guard channel. Now, for our nav, we are going to set up for our first set of VORs. VOR 1 is going to be the Santa Fe VOR, which is located just south of the airfield. And that is going to be a frequency of 110.6. So we'll dial that in. That is now dialed in. And VOR 2 is going to be 117.8. That is the next VOR. So we'll put that on so we can see it when it comes into range, and we're going to put 1178 over here on the standby on VOR 1. The next one after that's the TXO VOR, and that is 112.2. Get that one dialed in over there. There we go, 112.2. So that's all done. We're going to come over here and turn both sides over to VOR. They are now picking up, and we are good there. 1106, 1178, and 1122. One more to go after that, and that's down at Lubbock itself. All right, so with that done, we can also tune in our first heading. And that is going to be 107. And that's actually going to be from the Santa Fe VOR off to the next one. And
we're ready to go when you are.
Sounds like everybody is on board in the back. There we go, 107. And we're going to dial our heading indicator, which is what we're going to use initially, down to our runway heading of 200. Just got to wait for that to click around. And that will be right there. So with that done, we can check on Cobalt side. Flight instruments are set, roll spoiler switch, and avionics cooling is done. Back down to the center pedestal. Parking brake is on. Throttle levers are at flight idle. Control lock is engaged. Condition levers are in. Shut off flaps are still equal and indicating 0. Flight idle gate is out and the light is on. We can see the light on there. Autopilot and yaw dampers are off, and trim is set for takeoff. So at this point, we contact ATIS for our clearance. We're going to self-clear as we have no ATC or ATIS online. We got the weather from another source. So we're ready for before engines start. So we're going to pop down to the back. We'll get the door closed. Pop up front. So takeoff data and speeds are confirmed. We're going to be rotating at about 90 knots for today. Doors and windows are now closed. Caution light will go to, or the anti-collision light will go to red.
And welcome aboard flight 32.
Park and emergency brake is set against flight idle. Fuel cutoff. And DC generators on all 4 engines are now coming on.
We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode.
All right, we're going to start on the stand, and we will not need a pushback
please
for
fasten
today.
your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seat
Santa Fe
backs
area
must be in the full
traffic,
upright and long
Allegheny
position for
32,
departure.
starting
Cabin
on the
crew,
stand.
prepare cabin for departure.
All right, so the start sequence is going to be 3, 4, 2, 1. So we're going to select engine number 3 and hit the starter. So starter has been pushed in. You can hear the engine starting to rotate. We're going to wait for the RPM percentage to come up to about 20%, and we're going to add fuel. And we have burn off here. Oh, Kevin. Oh, it looks like they've played around with the propeller animations a little bit. Looking, I do have scenery here at Santa Fe, as you can see. There's some aircraft around and some different pieces of equipment sitting around. And we do have scenery down in Lubbock. The scenery's a little bit old, but it adds a little bit of life to the airport. Alright, so there we are, 70%. We can come up here, turn the starter off. We're going to switch over to number 4 and clear 4.
In some cases,
How's things with you, Kev?
of oxygen, pull the mask towards you and place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head.
Here's engine 4, and we're going to add fuel. And now we got the engine starting to spin. It's interesting they've changed it now so that the engine doesn't start spinning until you add the fuel, or the prop doesn't start spinning. Which kind of makes sense because you don't have the hot gases moving over the blades where they connects to the shaft.
On your waist and buckle at the front.
And there we go, we are up on engine number 4. So starter off, coming over to engine 2.
If your life vest does not inflate automatically, blow into the mouthpieces for manual inflation. Each vest is equipped with a whistle and light. If necessary, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the strap.
Interesting, the fuel flows come up and I haven't added fuel yet.
Securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
There we go.
We remind
Starting
you that
to get
this
rotation.
is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatory.
No, I'm doing great.
All this information and more can be found
just
in the
wrapping up things from my last trip.
We suggest reading this and letting a cabin member
got the insurance forms to fill out for the medication and stuff, but other than that, that's done. Looking forward to doing a few weeks of flying before I start planning for my next trip. you're seeing a DC. Oh, I see it. Yeah, and 341 Charlie heading down. Oh, he's landing at Albuquerque, just south of him. Cool. Nice DC6. Oh, sounds like that engine's up and running. Yeah, there's 70%. And switching over to engine number 1. We'll come outside and get a nice view of it here. Starting one. We have rotation. Yeah, it'll be a good few weeks. I don't head out until I think it's the third weekend in June is Flight Sim Expo. So I got about 4, 5, 6 weeks, 7 weeks of flying I can get in. That'll be nice. There we go. 20%. Add the fuel. There she is coming up very nicely. 70%. And starter is now off. So that's 4 good starts. So parking brake is still on. Start selector is off. DC external power is now turned off. DC volts and loads are checked. Battery temperatures are up there, but they'll come down once we get the AC generators and fans going in the back. The AC generators are now coming on all sides. Engine bleeds are now going to low setting. It's fine. Coming down to the center here, flight directors will come on both sides. PFCF lights are off. Prop auto feather is cell green. Intake deflectors are retracted. Engine instruments are checked. Hydraulic quantities and pressures are all looking good on all 3 systems. Weather radar is not functioning. Flaps going to 15 degrees for takeoff. There we go. Flight control check. Forward, back, left, right, and rudder pedals working good. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. Yaw damper is now on. De-ice pressure is checked. Ground equipment has been removed. Condition levers for engines 1 and 4 will now come up to maximum.
We're ready for departure.
And we're going to bring the engines back to disc. Hey, Chris. All right, so we are ready to taxi. So we're going to be taking runway 20, so that means we're going to be heading down here. It's not a far taxi. Santa Fe area traffic, Allegheny 32, taxiing from the terminal to runway 20 via the apron and Alpha. Santa Fe. Alright, so we are good to go. We're going to go manual brakes, pump them a couple times. Emergency brakes are off. And we are good to taxi out. Everything is looking good. Nice day for flying. The weather down in Lubbock is currently skies clear and winds calm. A little bit windy out here in New Mexico. That's fine. So we're just going to head down here. And as per usual, the ground trains and trees and bushes and stuff are being provided by Rex AccuSeasons Advanced. We're seeing colors on the trees and everything. It's looking very nice. I noticed walking around here the other day, we got a Japanese garden up the way, and all the cherry blossoms were out. That was about a week ago. So it's looking very nice. Just watch our speed here. So we're basically just going right down to the end, and that will take us down to runway 22. When we take off, we're going to fly out and basically climb right out until we intercept the radial that we're going to want for our heading down to the second VOR, which is not coming in yet, but that's fine. So you get a count. After today, there's 13 more legs on this tour. So we should be finishing up the last week of May. And then we're going to start the Great Lakes tour with the helicopter. So if you want to join in there, you can either fly a helicopter or like a small Cessna or something like that if you want to join in. As always, information will be posted up on the Discord, so you can join along. Let's get around the corner here. And there we go. So get the parking brake set. The engine's into flight idle. Alright, number 4. Oh, forgot my taxi light. Wind chill to warm up. Pedostatics are coming on for all of them. We don't need any of the other heaters. Engine bleeds are low. Ignition is normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps are coming on for all 4 engine. Flight taxi switch to flight. Ground spoilers are now up. Auto feather is still green. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Control lock is removed. Condition levers for all engines are in maximum. Flap set 15, indicating 15. Flight controls are checked. Elevator trim set for takeoff. Caution lights are checked. Ground spoiler light is on, and cabin is ready. We'll just give them a ding. Santa Fe area traffic. Allegheny 32, take position runway 20, Santa Fe. Alright, manual brakes. We'll get the brakes off. We'll ease her forward. Get her into position here. Oh, there's the moon. Looking good. A little bit more power to get her around the corner here. And there we go. We have a slight crosswind coming in from our right, but that is good. So we're on the brakes. Let's make sure the transponder is on. It's in a little bit of an awkward position. I have to kind of go over to the side here to get her on. And we're going to go mode C on VATSPY. That is now set. Weather radar is off. Landing lights will get on, and strobe lights on, and anti-collision light will now go to white. And we are ready to go. Santa Fe area traffic, Allegheny 32, departing runway 20 to the southeast. Santa Fe. Alright, we're lined up on the brakes. All 4 engines are in maximum RPM, bringing the power up to 32 inches. Fire truck crossing the runway. Ground spoilers are down. There's 32. Auto feather is armed, bringing the power up to 4,800. I'm going to start to roll. Santa Fe area traffic, Allegheny 32, rolling runway 20, Santa Fe. We can't get 4,800 because of the elevation we're at, which is 6,500 feet-ish, but that's fine. There's 70 knots. And 90. Get back pressure. There we go. There's the flight idle gauge is now closed. And we've just picked up the VOR. Excellent. confirming positive rate. Gear up. Autopilot on. Heading mode and indicated airspeed mode at 120 knots. Flaps up. All right, we're going to set our climb power. I'm going to bring the engines back. To 3,500. Propellers are going to come back to 107. It looks like they fixed those fluttering gauges. Looking much better. And then we're going to bring the engines back up to 44-ish. There we go. And we are up and cruising. Alright, we've got the indicator coming in, so we're going to switch over to nav mode. I'm going to turn on to the radio. Do need to get a new cable for my yoke. I just figured out what type of cable it is. It's what is it, an R45J. So I'm gonna have to get one of those. All right, we're actually picking up the other VOR, which is good. So what we'll do is once we get onto that radio, we'll switch over to the next VOR, the ACH VOR. There's 10,000 feet, so landing lights, taxi lights will come off. Landing gear is confirmed. Up, flaps are confirmed. Up. Engine intake deflectors are fine. Flight idle gate is confirmed. In. Sync is fine. Ignition is good. Auxiliary fuel pumps will come off. Engine bleeds are on low, and cabin pressure is good. We're not going to be going through transitions, so we're not going to worry about that. That is fairly calm out. We'll just wait a second before we bring the seat belts off. Alright, so I'm going to crank around here on this, and we're going to go into heading mode as we're just coming up on the VOR here. And we're going to switch over to the other VOR, and we'll go into nav mode and head off on our radial down there. So with that done, we can set up for the next one, which is going to be 1122. There's 1122, and after that, the last one, which is a Lubbock VOR, 1092. Set up on that one down here. Let's get to where we can see that 1092 is set. Of course, we're not picking that one up yet. We're just coming in to intercept now our radial. Coming up for 12,500 feet, we'll hit Alt Cell. So we're going to intercept 17,000, and then we'll go into cruise mode. There's Santa Fe. There's the airport. As we're climbing out now, making our turn onto the radial. Again, that low-lying misty, I don't know if that's mist or smog or whatever, but we saw that when we landed here yesterday, or 2 days ago. 13,000 feet. Still climbing very well. Slow, so I'm going to take off the indicated airspeed and I'm going to nose her down until we get up to about 130. There we go. It's a little bit better. 128, 129. And then we're heading up to 17,000 as we are heading to the eastwards. Odd numbered altitudes as we go. Oh, really? Has that been reported, Chris? I'll watch for it on this one and we'll see if she opens. Alright, looks like we've got 1,500 feet to go. A little bit windy, you can see us rocking about slightly, but we're not too bad. We'll kick the seatbelt sign off in the back. Let the crew start doing their thing.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move around the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
Alright, 17,000 feet. We're going to be aiming for a fuel burn rate of, I believe it's going to be 380. 360 pounds per hour per engine. So once we get leveled off, we'll set our fuel. Let's get those props back. We want 107 on the props. There we go. Yeah, that's much easier to control now that they're not flickering like crazy. Let's get those engines up. They've come back as we've been climbing. We're in capture mode now for our altitude. We'll just leave them there. We're going to have to adjust for the fuel burn in a second. I tried the fuel transfer once, never got it to work. So, not sure. I know it works in the DC6 because I've had to do it, but I've never had to do it in this thing. Well, if you look at my fuel gauges, you can see that we could move fuel from 1 to 2 and 4 to 3, but I've tried it and nothing happens. Alright, so we are now leveled off and cruising, so let's pop down here. We are going to set our fuel burn down to, or fuel flow, I guess technically, down to 360. So that's going to be the third knob. So let's bring the engines back. Alright, so there's 2 and 3 are set, and 1 and 4 are set. So we are now burning what we need to burn.
In a few moments, we'll be starting our in-flight service. We will be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Please look in your seat back for our list of complimentary and premium drinks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. If you wish to make an additional purchase, please note that we only accept credit cards.
Now there's kind of why we were rocking back and forth. We got a ground speed of 248 knots at the moment. Yowzers. We're really getting pushed along here. If I go into the weather overlay and pull up the winds, yeah, we've got about a 30 knot tailwind. Wow. We're really getting pushed here. Oh, actually, that's flight level 220. Let's go down to roughly where we are. 25, 30 knots. Yeah. So we're getting a good push. Airport elevation down in Texas is 3,282 feet, so about half the elevation that it was up in New Mexico. And it's looking very good. Again, you can see that rugged landscape out here. Alright, so the plan is I don't know about that because I kept it going for about 15 minutes and I didn't see a change in anything. So I just didn't worry about it. So my plan is to pick up the ILS for runway 17 right at the moment. Winds are still, no. Winds have changed. Now I got 11 knot winds. Let me pull up the airport diagram so I can see what we have. So we're still facing a bit of a crosswind. I think we're still going to look at doing the well, we could do that. That's going to be a 10 knot crosswind. That's a 6 knot crosswind. Well, we're actually, yeah, we're going to go to 08. We'll switch over to runway 08. Now, unfortunately, there's no ILS. 08 only has an RNAV. But we'll use that to help line us up in. So 4,700 feet will be our approach altitude before we do our final descent into the airport. That's okay. So we're kind of going around some military training areas that are located south of us currently. So we're not flying there direct. But as we are cruising along here, let's see what today's jukebox will bring us. Trying to avoid anything too. Problem is I can't hear these things when they're playing, so I'm not exactly sure what we're listening to. Let's go with this. The Cozy Collection. Get it on in the background there. So has there been a change in the weather? A little bit of cloud moving in. It's scattered cloud. You can kind of see it ahead a little bit. So we're going to have a 6 knot crosswind, 9 knot headwind as we come into runway 08. So Denver ATC is on above us. Houston is on, but there's currently no ATC in our path at the moment. So over the next few weeks before I head away again towards the end of June, we're going to be doing some weekend streaming as well when I am free. And those streams we'll do at the same time of 1400 Zulu. That's a regular weekend stream time. We're going to be flying, or I'm going to be flying the 737-800 freighter. But if you want to fly along, A320s or whatever, you are more than welcome to come along and fly as well. So Information will be posted up on the Discord as per normal. There'll be a little bit more ad hoc depending on when I am available. There won't be any this weekend. I may try to get one in next weekend, and we'll see. And we'll go from there. I'll try to do it on a rainy day here, so because I try to get First Officer Molly down to the off leash where she can run around and do her thing on the nice days. So if we got a rainy weekend day, we'll probably do a flight. But we will get a couple in, and definitely let me just pull up something here. So Kevin, on the weekend of the 18-19, which day or both days would you prefer to do a flight? And I'll make sure I get that set up. Wow, look at our airspeed. We're cruising here. Looks like they've really tweaked the performance on this airplane. They did some under the hood performance tweaks by the looks of it. Let's go see if we can find out what they did to it. Both days work for you? Okay. Do you want to do both then? Where are notes? I didn't see anything there. Let's see if it's in the install directory. No notes there. Not seeing any notes on what they've done on it there. Yeah, okay, we'll do both days. That's fine. Should be able to do that. And the other good thing is I can log these flights for the VA, so they get happy with that I'm flying. I just did a short hop the other day, which kept me current, and these will help as well. I'm gonna have to do another one just before I head away again. Gives me a 30-day window. All right, so we are currently just about to cross over. We're 4 miles away. Actually, we have crossed over. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to switch over onto our heading mode. You can see the nav came off as we cycled under. We're going to switch over to the TXO VOR, which is the 1122. Slot that in. There we go there. And we're going to want a heading of about 101 degrees. go 97, which should take us there. We'll switch over to capture. We're going to make the turn. Although we are flying kind of on it now, so we're good there. You can see that bit of a cross when we're pushing. So we're going to tune in the next VOR, which is at 109.2. Now the 109.2 is going to be Lubbock VOR. And the Lubbock VOR, if I look at my Sky Vector map, is located northwest of the airport, but we're going to be wanting to be further south than that. So that's just going to be a reference. So the airport's 5 miles past. But what we are going to be doing is flying the RNAV. So we're going to use that as a reference. We'll manually steer ourselves around and get ourselves lined up that way. It's not going to be an ILS. They do have an RNAV, and I'm just going to use that as a reference. But we will be doing a visual approach. You know, have you seen the comments where people are saying that the next big update's the last one for 2020? Although I'm not sure if Microsoft has said that. A lot of people are like, oh, it's going to be the last one because 2024 is going to come out and then nothing's going to happen for a while. And we'll have to see. I'm going to be really interested in seeing what they have to say when I'm down there at the conference. Definitely be making notes, and when I get back, I'll put something together or report back on what I learned, what they said. All right, so we're 114 miles. We're doing 261 knots. These speeds are much better, much better. And given the performance, I know the Dash-7s used to fly up in the 20s. No, they said they wouldn't abandon it, but I'm assuming that everyone's guessing that once... Oh, we should turn over to 122.8. I'm assuming that they're figuring that once it comes, the new one comes out, they're going to concentrate on that for a while to make sure everything's working. So, hence the less push out there's going to be on it for updates and stuff. Alright, going to get the CTAF frequency for KLBB, which is Lubbock, Texas, 120.5. So we'll dial that in. There's 120.5, so we're on the CTAF for Lubbock when we get down there. Next leg on Monday, we'll be flying from Lubbock, Texas, down to the state capital for Texas, which is Austin. Which airport are we going into in Austin? That's a good question. Not sure if we're going to fly into the main one. I don't know if that is. It could be the main airport in Austin. That could be interesting if ATC is up. Austin Bergstrom International Airport. Yeah, that looks like the main airport for Austin. Could be busy going in there. I got to check out the website, see what their speakers and everything is, and see if there's going to be a seminar for FS 2024. So it looks like, just looking at the schedule for it, on Friday, the product announcement seminars start at between 1 and 5:30. and there's receptions and stuff going on. Looking at some of the speakers they've got going. Let's see, Saturday. Exhibition Hall seminars. The Saturday seminars. International Flight Dispatch. Learn to fly. Content creators, real world pilots, global aviation networks, virtual content creation. ATC, RNAV and RNP mastery. Virtual combat pilot, virtual helicopter flight dynamics, helicopter flight controls, home simulation pilots. Okay, what about Sunday? Workshops, building a flight sim PC. Flight sim to real world, VAT sim, scenery design, AI, home cockpit. Yeah. So it doesn't seem to be much in the way of anything from Microsoft, unless they'll have something at a booth or something. So it'll be interesting to see that. Unfortunately, they lined up tours of the Las Vegas track on and the tower over at McCarran Airport, or Harry Reid Airport, whatever they're calling it now. Unfortunately and annoyingly, U.S. citizens only, because it's a secure facility. That's annoying. But it is what it is. Alright, some great scenery out the windows. You got the red rocks and all that type of stuff you get down here in the desert. It's all looking good. No warnings, 17,000 feet. So we got to get down 17, 16, 15, 14. What did they want us at? So we'll call it 12,000 feet roughly. So we're going to start our descent. 12 times 5, 50, 60. So basically at TXO, we're going to start our descent downwards. Well, it is limited numbers. I guess I don't want to be bothered with background checks for foreigners. It's a bit of a pain. Would have been nice to see, but I mean, I have been in towers before, so wouldn't have been my first time. It's Las Vegas, so I'm gonna go find a poker game somewhere. leave some more money in on the gambling table for them. Alright, so we're going to manually be heading off on a manual course once we hit TXO. So what we're going to do in the standby over here is make sure we're all set up. Now there's no frequency for an ILS, but we can set our minimums. So an LNAV VNAV approach, LNAV only was 380. So we're going to set 400 feet as our minimums on our radar altimeter. Just as a reminder, no frequencies to set, so we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Good 261 knot ground speed. Really liking that change they've made. Gives us a good speed across the ground now. All right, and we are 70 miles out and chugging along. So we're still in Albuquerque Center airspace. We'll be crossing over into Fort Worth once we pass the TXO VOR. And as I mentioned, there's a bunch of Air Force MOAs out here that we're avoiding. Don't want to be hit by some fast mover or something cranking through. Yeah, still in up, too bad. So it says we want a 130 heading. We're actually going to go to about a 145 when we come off that VOR, just to make sure that we're going the way we want to go. First Officer Molly's sleeping in the doorway, guarding the office. Very nice of her. So Kevin, I think the way it'll work. Oh, I should while we're here chatting, if I look up. So the Great Lakes Tour has 43 legs, but some of them are quite short. So we're going to be doing multiple legs for that. So basically what we're going to do is land and take off and land and take off and do stuff like that. So that's going to shorten that down. So hopefully when you get back at the beginning of August, and I get back at the beginning of August, we will be good to start the DC6 tour in August. Alright, so let's take a look at the board for Lubbock. I don't think there's going to be anyone there. No, just us coming in, nobody coming out. Actually, Kevin, have you heard anything more on the Lancaster from Airplane Heaven? That's gone very quiet. I don't know. You might, given the number. Like some of these legs are only like 10-15 minutes, so I could be doing like 3 or 4 legs on a stream, and that would stretch it out, and then, you know, that 43 legs may turn in only into like maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 streams, and that's what, if I'm doing 4 a week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, who knows? Down to 46 miles to go. You can see we got a good ground speed, still 261. Yeah, I saw that was what was that? Flying Iron? Let me pull it up. I was just reading that just before we started the stream. Airplane Heaven, yeah. The Mark 1. Not my favorite Hurricane. Much prefer the Mark IIC. That's the one with the 20mm cannons on it. But that's pretty cool. But then you got to remember I'm also away, right? So I'll go to Vegas. I've got family over for a bit, and I head over to England for a week, and then I come back, and then might get a couple streams in, then I'm away to Norway. So it could stretch into August, the beginning of August, to finish that series off. Actually, the Hurricane Mark IIC in desert markings is perhaps my favorite. If I won the millions and I was going to buy a Warbird, it'd probably be that. Because it's a little bit bigger than the Spitfire, and I don't fit in the Spitfire. Actually, if I wanted to be honest, if I was going to buy a World War II fighter, I'd probably have to buy a P-47. Just, it's about the only one I could actually fit into. Comfortably, anyway. Lots of room in that thing. They had one at the Vintage Wings group up in Gatineau. I don't know if they've still got it or not, but they've got a Mark II C, I believe, in desert, or they had one anyway. Let me just check and see. Looks like they got rid of that one. They do have a Mark 12. It's been repainted to look like a Mark 1. But it's not not the one I like. They used to have one. I don't know if they sold it or what they did with it. Kevin, I just sent you a picture of the Mark 12 that they've got, although it's painted up like a Mark 1. Yeah, they are cramped. I remember I was in a B-25 down in Hamilton, and I climbed into the cockpit. Oh God, I could barely get into the cockpit of that thing. It was so cramped. I'm too big for a lot of those. I'm too big for the modern planes. Not sure what the height limit is for the F-18s, but $70. Oh, 6'5" is the maximum height for the F-18. That's to be able to close the canopy with the helmet on and everything. Okay. Starting to see some of that scattered cloud moving in. Not quite at the Texas border yet, but we're getting there. Still in New Mexico, or at least we're still in New Mexico airspace. Not sure where the actual geographic border between Texas and New Mexico is. 16 miles to go. And again, we're going to turn out to heading mode, and then we're going to begin our descent downwards. And we'll get ready for our landing. It's the same with tanks. I don't fit in tanks either. Although I have had the opportunity to drive an M1 Abrams and climbed into the commander's position in a Sherman. I don't fit well in those things. Not a lot of room. Is that the nose art, or is that like a real photo, a real guy? All right, we're under 10 miles out from the. I think it's called the. Is it the Texaco? Yeah, the Texaco VOR. The Texas-Mexico VOR, I guess. Not sure how far away from the Mexican border we are. I think we're a little bit. It's a real photo? Cool. All right, 5 miles out. So again, we're going to be aiming for a altitude capture or approach altitude of about 5,000 feet. So that's what we're going to dial in on our altitude select once we make the turn. Wikipedia. Cool. Too small for the ejection seats. Surely not all of them. There we go. Just came over top of the VOR, so we're going to switch over into heading mode now. We'll make the turn, and once we go wings level, we'll start our descent downwards. And you see all the agricultural fields down here. All the pivot circles for the irrigation. And there we go, wings coming level. Alright, we're going to wait for the Lubbock VOR to come in. That'll come in on VOR 2. Set it up on VOR 1 as well as 1092. Interesting. All right, so we're going to begin our descent. So we're going to come in here. We're going to, oops, let's go the other way. Crank that down to 5,000 feet. And as we get ready to descend, let's do the quick reminder here from the flight deck. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Helps us grow and gets us a little bit more exposure. You can also like the video or the stream if you're watching it afterwards. Leave a comment, I always reply. And if you want to join us for more information, come over to the Discord. You can get some information there. I'll get the bot to put the link up into the chat and we can see it there. And you can come along. The Discord has all the information about what we're flying, when and where, if you want to fly along with us. And if you have any questions about the sim or any of the aircraft, you can always ask there as well. We're going to bring the power back on the engines now, let the speed slow to 150, and then we'll begin our descent downwards. If you want to take that extra step and help us with purchasing the aircraft and the airports that we fly to and we show off, you can always become a member for about the price of a latte a month. You can help the channel, plus you get neat little indicators and icons beside your name as well. That is my eternal gratitude for helping out the channel. Alright, we're pretty much down to 150 knots, so we're going to be getting our descent now. Texaco area traffic, Allegheny 32 is approximately 5 miles southeast of the Texaco VOR, descending on a flight or 17,000 feet for 5,000, inbound to Lubbock for a visual approach runway 08. Alright, we'll get the seatbelts on in the back and we'll also let them know that we are descending.
Gentlemen, the flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
Alright, we'll get the current weather out there. We'll get the altimeter set up so that we are good. Winds are still at 120 degrees, 11 knots, so that we're still going to have that crosswind. Scattered clouds at 3,500 and 5,000. Altimeter is currently 2987. So we'll get 2987 dialed in on both sides. And we'll come over here and dial it in on the spare. There we go. And we'll continue our descent downwards. Seem to be holding a nicer descent at idle power. Between 600 and 800 feet per minute. And we will turn a little bit more southwards. Just to give us that space as we come in on the visual. So we're into Fort Worth Center airspace, definitely out over Texas now. Alright, so for our descent, the cabin pressurization is set to auto. Fuel quantities, we can come up and check. They are looking good. Fuel transfers are all off. Altimeters are set to the local QNH. Landing lights will come on at 10,000 feet. Passenger signs are already on. And for the sake of completeness, there is our METAR into the chat. Still descending down at 102 knots. Wonder why we're not picking up the Lubbock VOR 1092. Is that a low? Doesn't appear to be a low power one. Let me bring my charts up again. Check. Oh, it is a low altitude. That's fine. We'll pick it up we're about 30 miles out. So the VOR is about 5 nautical miles northwest of the airport. Cloud layer coming in. Flying by some of these little farming communities out here in the northwestern end of Texas. A little bit of cloud loading there. There's the VOR kicked in, 46 miles out from the VOR, roughly 50 miles out from the airport. It's 13,500, and it is about 12 minutes to 4 local time.
We have begun our final descent into Texas. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to select edge track one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
There you go. Little airport and community coming up here. This is the town of Littlefield. Kind of descending over to Littlefield Airport, which is located basically right off our nose. There it is, right there. Oh, I'm sure there'll be more updates to come. But I think you're going to see attention shift. Depends how good it is. If it's a good step forward, it'll be a good thing. And hopefully, you know. You remember how frustrating it was when they released it with all these airliners, but they were basically unflyable. And everyone was just doing the GA stuff for so long until some decent fixes and decent airliners started to appear. And I hope the guys, PFDG and Phoenix and even the fly-by-wire guys and everything, they're able to get their aircraft converted over quickly so that we can have them in there. Oh, speaking of which, you weren't here on the last stream, Kev. My virtual airline has decided to purchase 6 A380s. for the fleet. So whenever fly-by-wire or Inabuilds or whoever else is making the A380, when they come out, we're going to have A380s in the Fly UK fleet. So that could create some interesting flights. Oh, and they're bringing the A350 online as well. But I'm not sure if that's for flight sim or X-plane, or I think that's all that's really supported nowadays. We'll have to see. So there's a little field coming up. We're tracking well here. Final check of the board out there at Lubbock. We are still the only aircraft inbound. See why they call this now the slow speed descent. So intermediate descent speed is VMO minus 45 to 18,000 and then 185. Slow descent here. There's a little field. So this road basically runs down towards Lubbock, so we're coming in and then we're going to make a turn to the east, directly lined up with 08. I think we can click a few degrees over this way now. And just for reference, what is the runway heading? 084. That on there so I can see where that's pointing. Missed approach, if we have to do it, we're going to climb to 5,000 feet and enter a left-hand pattern. We'll come around and do the landing again. Once again, minimum safe altitude in the area is 5,300, but we're coming into land, so that is fine. And everything else is looking good. We have our minimum set for 400 feet. It's a visual approach. We can see very well what's going on in there. A bit more heavier cloud off in the distance and direction we're going. Well, I think next time we'll go for the intermediate speed. We'll try to keep our speed up at that 185 for the descent. And that's below 18,000 feet. So we're below 10,000 feet, so landing lights are going to come on. switch over to the Lubbock CTAF frequency. Lubbock area traffic, Allegheny 32, approximately 15 miles to the northwest, inbound for visual approach runway 08 Lubbock. Come a few more degrees over this way. Trying to come in somewhere around the initial approach fix for the RNAV. It's 4,000 feet to go. Tracking pretty good. So again, expecting a slight right-hand crosswind. Final check of the weather. 2987 stays the same. Winds are still 11 knots at 120. We now have a 10 knot. Oh no. Let's get the right runway up. We have a 9 knot headwind, 6 knot left or right crosswind. That was an hour ago, so that might update any second. That's good enough for now. Looking good. Almost to beam the VOR. Airport's off over in this direction. - 3,000 feet to go. Bit of a swooshing going on there. If I turn the autopilot off, that will stop, so it seems to be something to do with the autopilot and how it holds its course. We're looking good. Just about to make our turn, heading off towards the airport. Arrows there. Alright, we're going to head over to 090 now. I think there's the airport right out there. Lubbock area traffic. This is Allegheny 32, approximately 15 miles out. Inbound visual runway 08 Lubbock. Yeah, I don't have any set, but it's doing it on its own as it's trying to maintain, so it starts as wall. I noticed it does it on the ILS approaches at low speed, but as soon as I click off she goes level. So it is something to do with the autopilot. I mean, that's for sure. All right, we're 7,000 feet. All right, and we are high. So first notch of flaps coming out. Start us down. We're leveling out for 5,000 feet. That's better. It's rather abrupt, but that's okay. So for landing, it's going to be flaps 45 landing as we come in. That is fine. We'll be crossing over the other runway. We're slightly offset at the moment. We'll get ourselves lined up again. There we go. 5,000 feet coming up. Speed starting to come back. Keep it at about 125 or so. So we're doing a visual straight in, no pattern. Keep that speed up. Switch over to manual. Autopilot is off. I have control. Simbri fly you into a mountain? Ooh. Oh, is that because of height restrictions or something? All right. Try to maintain about 130. Yeah, if you're not on the airways, it doesn't know what altitude and the restrictions and stuff, so then it becomes pilot's responsibility. Lubbock area traffic, Allegheny 32, 5 mile final, runway 08, Lubbock. Alright, let's get that speed coming back. Gear down. The cabin is notified. Lights are on. Props are now fully forward. That's 25. 120 knots. Yeah, we're gonna have a 6 knot quartering right crosswind. Feet above the ground, flaps full. Power coming back, bringing the speed down to 100. $500. Watching that wind. Power back. 90, gear down, flaps down. Lights are on cabin notified, runways clear. There's 90. See the crosswind there. Flight idle gate came out. So she does on the ground range. There we go, 50 knots, 40 knots. There we go. Welcome to Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Texas. The local time is 4:06 p.m. and it's currently about 84 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain.
It's one of the training things. There's always, even IFR stuff, is you're always going through checking minimum safe altitudes and routes and everything. It's never take flight planning software for granted. It's always the pilot's responsibility. Head up to the turnoff here at Kilo. Get ourselves around the corner. Lubbock area traffic, Allegheny 32, clear 08 at Kilo, taxiing Kilo, Juliet, Romeo to the terminal. Alright, so we are here. After landing checklist. Control locks are engaged. Condition levers 2 and 3 are in feather. Flaps are retracted. Anti-collision light will go to red. Strobes off. Landing lights are off. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Windshield heat off. Pedostatics are coming off. Spoiler flight taxi switch over to taxi. Yaw damper is off. Weather radar is off. Alright, let's head in. Taxi down here on Kilo, pick up Juliet. And there we go. Alright, looking good. Plus, it always helps if you are in VMC and you can see what's going on around you, that you're not going to fly into a mountain in the clouds. That's why I love the terrain radar features in a lot of these airplanes. Again, just not a substitute for doing your own research and work and all that stuff, but it is a handy tool. There's the fire hall and customs FBO in there. General aviation ramp here. You see some of the smaller private aircraft. There's also a runway here on the edge. You can just see it coming up here. 2,800 foot runway for little things like little J3 Cubs or something. You wouldn't get much more taken off on that. I don't even think they would probably use it, given where it's located. There it is right there. Wouldn't get too much in and out on that thing. We're heading down here to the terminal. We're going to be going into gate number 1. Let's see if we can get them. Gate number 1. It's got a jet bridge, but that's fine. We won't be using it. Here's Gulf. And then Romeo on the left. So it looks like we moved forward on the clocks by an hour. I think we've gone from mountain time to central time. Alright, we're coming in here on Romeo. We're going to follow around on the outer taxiway here. See the guys waiting over there for us. This is add-on scenery off flightsim.to. Yeah, something to add a little bit to the airport, which it does. It doesn't look generic. Generic buildings we get everywhere. It gives it a little bit of difference. And as mentioned, we're heading over to gate number 1. That'll be gate 3. See, it kind of takes us in on an angle. It's gate 2. And gate 1. Turn off that taxi light. There we go. Oh, we'll get the parking brakes on. Taxi light is off. Power levers are back to flight idle. Shut off 2 and 3 as they were the first ones in. Weather radar is off. DMEs will come off. Parked up. Kill the other engines. Anti-collision light. Go off. Leave the position lights on. Passenger signs can come off. External power is now connected. AC generators off. Engine bleeds are off. And we'll pop down here. Anti-skid will come off. We'll go to the back and open the door. And there we go.
Boarding requested.
they're going to start coming in and getting all the bags and everything off of the aircraft. Well, thanks for the flight, or coming along for the flight. We're here in Lubbock, Texas. Next time we're leaving out of here, we'll be heading off to the capital city of Austin, Texas. And from there we will continue on with the state capitals as we work our way across the southern U.S. now. Thanks for coming out, everybody. And Kevin and Chris, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.
Passengers, the boarding starting.